Hello. Good morning, everybody. I am back with another kind of Clarence Chronicle, but also kind of not Clarence Chronicle. Today, the most urgent thing on my to-do list today is to clean my studio. I know I've been talking about cleaning my studio for a couple of weeks now. And I did a little bit. I cleaned it up as best as I could, just like a quick clean a couple of weeks ago, but it's getting out of hand. If you're new to my channel, I have been writing and illustrating a children's book over the last 2 months and documenting the process on my YouTube channel under a playlist called Clarence Chronicles. Clarence is the main character of the children's book that I'm writing. So this is my studio, or part of it. This is the door that is like really rickety and old, but it's so beautiful and inspiring every day that I walk in. And the studio is in our backyard here in Southern California. And then this is our little kitchenette and my painting desk. My camera is currently on and recording audio on my desk where I do all of my back end work, all of my admin stuff, all of my designing my website stuff, all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is where I get to paint every day. I've been a professional artist for 13 years. I've written books. I have 4 published books: Everyday Watercolor Flowers, Everyday Watercolor Seashores, and then also an Everyday Watercolor sketchbook. And then I've taught online on my YouTube channel and through online courses for years and years now. And I'm kind of entering this new season with my art where I want to I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old son, and he went to school for the first time this last year. He's in kindergarten. And so just navigating a lot of like who I am as a mother and all of the big life lessons and teaching moments that we have as parents. And I had this idea for a children's book this last fall when something came up with my son that we were navigating as parents. And I just thought to channel that situation into a children's book. So anyway, that's where Clarence was born. I have no idea when this book is going to be officially done and released. The plan or hope or goal is in the next few months. But a lot of stuff is up in the air right now. I have taken a huge break on my normal launches and projects that I do every single year to focus a lot more of my time on Clarence because I'm very passionate about this story. I'm very passionate about bringing something to life that I am excited about, that where my passion is. And I've done that for the last 13 years. I've followed my passions and worked really, really, really freaking hard to create a business that is sustainable for a life of peace and a life that has a lot of space and a lot of time where I can spend with my family and with my son and live and explore and do all of these things. And so I get to wake up and make coffee in my house and walk in my backyard to my studio, work for a few hours while my son's at school, and get to hang out with my family for the rest of the day. And I'm extremely grateful that I put in so much work in those early days of being a business owner in order to be in this place where I'm it's more flexible for me to follow passion projects, or more flexible for me to not work as hard as I used to, so that I can enjoy what life is really made for. And so anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent as an intro to this kind of studio blog where I'm going to just show you behind the scenes of me cleaning out my studio. And it's going to include a huge pile. You can't really see how massive this pile is unless I bend down. A huge pile of artwork that I've been needing to go through for literally over a decade. So yeah, I'll just walk you through some of my artwork and how it's changed over the years, and different stories behind different pieces and stuff as I'm cleaning up. Like the desk itself doesn't look that messy, but down there is interesting. So I don't know what we're going to find. Of all time, cauliflower is So I'll get to that one day. So just digging up some fun things. But you know, here we go. So I just got started and wanted to come over and show you guys some of the work that I did for my third book, Everyday Watercolor Seashores. This book was released in March of 2024. And I'm going to put this down. But it covers obviously a lot of sea creatures and just a little BTS of writing a step-by-step how-to watercolor book. I had to paint every single layer. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I had to paint every single layer of each painting individually. So every single step had to obviously be shown in the step-by-step book. So instead of painting one seahorse for the chapter on seahorses, I painted, I think it was actually 4 or 5. This is because the sketch layer had a few and then the watercolor. So anyway, lots of work. On top of the writing, obviously there was, just having to paint the same thing a lot of times is a lot. This was the jellyfish that I did for Everyday Watercolor Seashores. We did a moorfish. So again, every single one of these subjects that I cover in my book, in the step-by-step book, I had to paint more than once. And also scan it more than once and edit it in Photoshop, clean up the background and the colors when they get, because when you scan, sometimes the colors get a little wonkadonk. We did a whale shark, a sea turtle. Where is she? Sea turtle with that blurry background. This lobster is one of my faves from the book. And then we did a dolphin who's currently upside down. A purple crab, and then also there's landscapes. Where's the landscapes? We did Shaw's Cove, which is a beach in Laguna Beach, which is close to where we live. This like surfer painting. So anyway, there's a little peek inside Everyday Watercolor Seashores. If you don't have it, you should go check it out on Amazon. Blick has it, I think. Wherever books are sold, my books are sold. So check it out. I'm going to get back to cleaning now. I just found the cover art of Everyday Watercolor Seashores. And then this is something that I did inside my Everyday Watercolor companion course. It goes along with all 3 of my Everyday Watercolor books and shows step-by-steps of the stuff I cover in the books. And some of them have like slightly new takes on them. So if you have the book and you want to explore the techniques in the books even more, Everyday Watercolor Everyday Watercolor companion course. I promise this didn't mean to become a sales pitchy video. I'm just like discovering all of the things that I've ever painted in my life. Anyway, this was the cover of the book. Do you want to see it? Just kidding. I think I have books inside my house and I'm too lazy to go inside my house and go get that right now. So I will have my editor put a little screenshot of the cover of the book from my Amazon. Otherwise, you can just click the link in the description to go look at it. All right, so we've got a stack pile of my book illustrations. I've got a stack pile of like just random surface pattern design artwork from over the years. And then this one is like, I still need to sort through it. There's one pile down here that's trash. Or like scrap paper. I'm going to flip it over and use the backside, but it's all a bunch of paintings that I was not happy with. And I will go through them and I will show you why I'm not happy with them, or some of them, because it's kind of a lot. Okay, yeah, back to cleaning. Here's some of my bigger floral pieces that I've done over the years. This one is gouache and watercolor, and it's something that I did a tutorial on in my Patreon a few years ago, which is my monthly art membership. This was something that I still need to finish, but this is with acrylic ink, watercolor ink, acrylic ink. So it's like really vibrant and juicy and fun. And yeah, it's not finished, but I would love to finish it one day. This is a keeper pile. This piece, I foresee it being blown up really big and on some bed sheets. That's, a TBD down the road project once I get through Clarence. This was done a couple years back for a photo shoot, but I want to finish this one out too. Well, it's kind of smudged. I don't know. We'll see but I just really like, especially this guy and the colors of this like smoky bluish gray and purpley gray with the brighter pinks, I think is one of my favorite color combos of all time. And I don't really love these poppies, but if they get blown up and like put on some sort of fabric, I think it could be really pretty. But all of these colors are super duper loud and like aggressive to me. So the color palette is not my favorite because it's too intense. I love bold, vibrant colors, but I love to soften it down with like some lighter colors and some more just kind of random mixed in color palettes. This is a landscape that I've been working on. It's not done. I'm adding some wood on dry layers with more trees, and I'm going to add some trees here. I don't know what I'm going to do down here because it feels so dense already. Everything feels dense, but I want it to feel like a wildflower field with trees. And so I'm just trying to bring more and more trees into this kind of middle and background. So I'll get to that one day. And this is something that I did for some licensing collections, surface pattern design collections. I would love to turn this into some bed sheets or fabric or even curtains or wallpaper. Something like that would be really fun. Again, one day when I have the time to focus on other projects. This is an iris painting that I did a few years back. That's with watercolor ink and watercolor. And I just really like this cauliflower on this particular iris. A cauliflower is that edge. Most watercolor artists try to avoid them, but sometimes I think they are really cool textures to add to have in pieces. So anyway, that's that pile that I'm going through. We've got a huge pile of trash going. Trash / I'm going to use the back of these sheets if I haven't yet for, practice and stuff like that. So I like to reuse as much as possible until it ends up in the trash if nothing can be used. So anyway, back to work. Here's some paintings I just dug up that I did for my art membership on Patreon. This was all all dragon's blood watercolor, and then I did little micron pen details on top. We've done this fun mushroom moth painting. That's actually not on Patreon. Anyway, so just digging up some fun things. Just found one of my books in the Spanish publication. 30 Días de Acuarela. So that's cool. This was from my course, The Art Within, where I teach composition, talking about S curve, C curve, V shape, L shape, perspective, all the things. So lots of paintings from those days of filming The Art Within. Okay, so I just cleared out. All of that was like piles and piles and piles of artwork, just like spilling everywhere. It was honestly embarrassing. Not embarrassing, you know, we're good at some things, we're not good at other things. I'm not good at organizing my artwork. Okay, so I just discovered a few paintings that I haven't seen in a while that I wanted to show you. This iris painting is one of my favorites I've ever painted, mainly because the colors just feel so like on fire. I painted this probably 4 years ago. All I remember, it was before my first art retreat in France, where I taught a group of people art in France for a week. And there was just a lot of bearded irises around the property that we were staying at. And so I painted this, and I used a lot of green gold. Green gold is my Mary color that I use. That is this one, and it's awesome. And then there was some gouache in here to make these milky colors, the peaches. Anyway, so that was a fun one. Really like that one. Some of this stuff is too, like, I want to start getting back into licensing and service pattern design. I took a break from it for a few years to focus on finishing books and courses and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, like this guy, fun color palette. Anyway, a lot of this stuff is, you know, stuff that I haven't done tutorials on, but some of the things that are in here are on my Patreon. I do have obviously so many flower tutorials on my YouTube as well, but if you want the more in-depth style tutorial, etc., it's in my Patreon. So anyway, here's my fat stack of everyday watercolor seashore stuff, and then we've got my licensing stuff. And last but not least of the pile of art that I've just sorted and gotten rid of stuff. The last pile is the Clarence pile. So I already mentioned this in this video. That's why I'm cleaning my desk out, because I'm like in full deep dive in writing and illustrating this children's book, and my desk was getting way too out of hand with like how messy it was. So it was making my mind feel really messy every time I would come into the studio to paint for Clarence, and I really needed to just like declutter. So anyway, here's the pile of Clarence stuff. Here is the crow that is in the story of Clarence. Clarence holding a paintbrush, and yeah, just like all of the different things that I've painted and evolutions of the story and of the characters in the story, which I've talked about a lot in the other Clarence Chronicles videos that you can check out. We'll link to the playlist on my YouTube channel because I've shown all the different iterations of the characters. This is one of the scenes where Clarence looks up and finds a crow in the tree. And this is not it. I'm changing this, but this is the idea of a shadow on the ground in his room. Boop, right there. Of the tree and him looking out the window. This is a very quickly done, very messy, probably not the color I'm going to use version. So it's just like my quick painted sketch. And then same with this, there's a scene in the story where I want Clarence to be looking out the window, but you see him in the window. This is the shadow of the tree, but I'm going to have the actual tree laid on top of it, kind of to the side so that you see the shadow and the actual tree. And then the reflection of the look at Clarence inside the window. This is just a quick painted sketch of the idea that I had in my head. And I still need to go back and do this and that other one that I just showed probably a few times until, hair in my eye, until I get it right. But anyway, if you want to see all the different versions of the tree, this is the actual tree I'll be using for the story, but it's gone through so many different versions. So if you want to see all that, that's something that I've shown in the previous videos. So check it out. This is number 7, right? Yeah, 7. I just did the number 6 thumbnail today, so I should know this. But yeah, so anyway, that's the journey I'm on, and my desk is officially clean, and I'm just going to finish putting all this stuff away and organizing, and then I'm going to get to work on Clarence for the day. Alrighty, so we are officially cleaned out, and I've got piles of organized chaos. So anyway, I am all cleaned up. That feels really nice. If you are a type B creative, slightly messy like me person, I highly, highly recommend just biting the bullet and decluttering your desk space, your studio space. It helps inspiration flow a little bit more freely because you're not so ooh. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. I will be updating you on where I find myself after this week with Clarence and the illustrations that I have after today and tomorrow. I haven't really been able to work on it much this week because there's just still been a little bit of chaos here in Southern California and just friends in LA and dealing with all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's just been a little bit of a unusual week, work-wise. And so just needing to take more of that time to tend to the life things. And again, very grateful that I have the flexibility to do that. So anyway, I'm getting caught up on Clarence stuff and other projects for work, and we'll see where I end up at the end of this week, and I'll be sure to update you all. Again, make sure you check out the Clarence Chronicles, the other 6 videos that I've done so far if you need to get caught up to speed with where I'm at. And it's just a good way to see inside the artist brain for the creative process of developing something completely from scratch. And yeah, I just discuss a lot of my creative process. That's all, folks. I hope you all give yourself the gift and space of creative time today. It seems that we need our creative practices more than ever these days. So give yourself the gift of peace and calm. Pick up your paintbrushes. Pick up your guitar. Put on some music and dance in the kitchen. Sing in the shower. Do whatever you got to do to keep your sparkle. Come back to that inner child and that playful aspect that we all have within us through our creative outlets. If you need to get lost in a creative outlet and you don't have one, check out my YouTube channel, which you kind of already have because you're watching this video. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got like hundreds of watercolor tutorials. I've got courses. I've got all the things. So anyway, if you need a creative hobby, if you're just feeling like there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of whatever's going on in your life or whatever is consuming your mind, and you just need something to take your mind off of things in a very healthy, constructive way, I got you. I got you. Share this with your friends, comment, like, subscribe, all of the things. It means the world to me. It's literally just me running this YouTube channel. Well, besides Rachel, my editor. Hello, Rachel, who edits these videos, because Lord knows I would not be able to do that. But thank you for all of the support. It's what helps me continue to put out these hopefully helpful and educational videos. And to spread the positivity and beauty that is creativity. So anyway, besos to you all. I'll see you in next week's video.